Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Unscripted Journey Podcast. I am Cynthia, and I'm here to be your best friend, talk to you, help you learn how to live an unscripted life, help you break away from those expectations that others put on you. I am so glad that you're here again today with me. I have a really powerful episode for you today. We're going to be talking about going from routine to reinvention and the power of reflecting on where you are. And why is that important, my friends? It's important, because if you don't know who you are, how do you know where you're going? Oh man, I'm so glad that you are here to listen to this today. Here's a quick teaser. If you've ever looked at your life and thought, how did I end up here? This one's for you. This one is for you, my friend. So sit back, relax, grab your cup of coffee or a glass of wine. Maybe you're listening on the treadmill or on a walk on this day. I really hope that you are encouraged and impacted by today's episode. So I want to share a moment with you as to when I realized that routine had taken over. And I knew that something had to shift in my life, or I was just going to keep going on this hamster wheel over and over and over again. And as you know, about 2 years ago, I started reflecting on my life and what I wanted to do. And honestly, I felt, and I'm sure you have all felt like this, I felt like I was in Groundhog Day. Every day, it was like I was living the same life. I wake up, I get ready for work, I go to work, I come home, I cook dinner, I watch something on TV, on Netflix, or, waste time on my cell phone, go to sleep, wake up, get ready for work, go to work, come home, make dinner. You get the picture, guys. You know how it is. You're probably going through it right now, and that's why you're listening to this episode. But I knew that something had to change in my life. I was nearing my 50s and I had to change. I did not want to become that person that at 65, 70, as I get older, I just even sit down on my sofa and that's all I do. I have the same routine every day. I wanted to live a healthier life. I wanted to live a more purposeful life. I wanted to live a life that was mine, period. And I knew that I had to shift my mindset. I had to shift my attitude, and I had to shift how I looked at life. Routine can be really comforting because you always know what's going to happen. And if you're a person like me, I've talked about this, that I'm kind of a control freak. Routine can seem safe because you already know how your day is going to be. Hence why the unscripted journey started for me, because I was tired of having everything scripted every day in my life. And as comforting as it can be, it is also limiting. You are limiting yourself from experiencing new things, and you are limiting yourself from living a life you are worthy of. I got stuck in that cycle because we all do. It's just life. We go every day, day in, day out, doing the same thing, and it just becomes a cycle and you get stuck in it. And sometimes you don't know how to get out. It may have looked successful from the outside, right? I have a really great career in property management. I've been doing it for like 19, 20 years. But as much as I love property management, it doesn't fulfill all my dreams. It doesn't check all the boxes. I'm happy that I have a good job. I'm happy that I make good money. I'm happy that it's able to support my family, and it has for the last almost 19, 20 years. But it doesn't fulfill me. I don't wake up and say, yay, I'm a property manager and I get to work today. I get up and I say, yay, thank God I have a job. Thank God that I've done something, but it's not what makes me happy. It doesn't fulfill me. And, this happens to a lot of people. especially women or couples or dreamers with responsibilities. If you're like me, I'm a dreamer. I can close my eyes and I can dream about all the things that I want. But when you're stuck in a cycle, that's where your dreams get stuck too. And I think I said this in one of my other episodes where I was like, I heard a quote that said the richest place on earth is the cemetery, because so many people die with their dreams still inside of them and they've lived an unfulfilled life. And it's important that you reflect on that, because you want to change that cycle. You want to know where you're going. In a sense, right? The unscripted life is about not being put in a box anymore, not living the life that everyone else or even yourself has scripted out the way it's going to be. It's leaving room for the unscripted. It's leaving room for the surprises and the adventures and the moments that make you fulfilled and make you feel happy and joyful inside. Let me ask you a question. Are you living by design or by default? Oof, what a question, right? Like, ouch. Are you living by design or by default? Most people who are living the scripted life are living by default. Listen, that is fine if that's the way you want to live. I personally decided I was not going to live like that. I did not want to be in default. I didn't want to live a default life. I wanted to live a life that I designed that was fulfilling and purposeful for me. Because at the end of the day, it's my life. Reflection, let me just talk about that for a couple minutes here. Reflection, in simple, relatable terms, is you taking the moment to think about where you are, even where you have been, what you have done, how would you like to do things. It's a moment of taking your thoughts and gathering them and saying, okay, where am I? Who am I? It's really important, that this first step lead to meaningful change in your life. When you reflect on where you are, it is that first step to change. It is that first step to wanting to live a more fulfilling life for yourself. When I looked at my life and asked, what is it, Cynthia, that you want? I knew that I had dreams inside of me ever since I was a little girl. I either wanted to sing, I wanted to speak, I wanted to impact people. And I hope that that's what I'm doing with this podcast. That's one of the reasons why I started it. But I asked myself, what do you want? What is it that you want in your life? And I'm asking you that today, my friends. What is it that you want? I want to offer 3 simple reflection questions for my listeners today. And if you have your journal, I want you to take it out and I want you to write this down. Where am I right now? Mentally, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. And I would even add physically. A lot of us are not in that place, and taking care of our body and mind helps us take care of everything else in our lives. They say messy mind, messy life. Like if your mind is just clouded and has so many things in it and you just can't focus, you need to know where you are mentally, emotionally. Where are you investing all your emotions? Into whom? Into what? Financially, what are you doing with your money, right? Money creates freedom. That is also a journey that my husband and I have been on, being financially free, because being financially free creates opportunities. And where are you spiritually, right? Like we all should believe in something greater than ourselves. I am a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in His power. And I have to take the moments out to reflect on where I am in my spiritual journey. It's so important for our growth. Number 2, what parts of my life feel aligned and what parts feel like I'm just surviving? What parts of your life are intact? And where are you just doing the doggy paddle? I don't know how to swim. The only thing I can do is a doggy paddle or just lay on my back and swim and paddle and stroke backwards or whatever you call it. But where are you aligned? And what areas of your life are you just barely surviving, where your head is just above the water? Where are you, my friend? It's really important for you to know where you are. And number 3, what have I outgrown? I would dare to say, who have I outgrown? In your new journey, not everyone's going to fit. Not every relationship is gonna carry over into the new season of your life. There's a season for everything under heaven. And you have to ask yourself, what have I outgrown? Habits, old dreams, jobs, friends, family. It's time to start having boundaries, because not everyone can go where you're going. Not everyone is gonna go, and you're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna criticize you. And honestly, that is a-okay. I mean, I am totally fine with what's been happening in my life, because no one's going to bring me the happiness that I bring myself. They can't create that happiness for me. It's important to have clarity. It leads to change, real intentional change. When you're clear on the vision for your life, you are in a great place, because now you know what direction you want to go in, and you know what you want to avoid, who you want to avoid, what things in your life don't make sense, are no good for you anymore. When you're clear on that, man, your change is intentional. You are deciding that you're changing the way you think about something. And mindset in a new life is so important, because that's what's going to carry you when other things try to weigh you down. I discovered in my own reflection that I needed to not reinvent myself, but that I needed to pivot. I had to do some things that were very hard for me, because as much as I said I wasn't a people pleaser, to a certain extent, I was a people pleaser. But I had to start saying no to people, to things, to distractions, just even for myself, like being more disciplined, right? Reading more. Instead of doom scrolling on Instagram or TV or Netflix or binge watching, I had to be disciplined. And I had to start saying no. I had to start saying yes to reading, to listening to podcasts, to just even on a daily basis. I mean, I had quotes on my wall. I started to have affirmations on my wall, on my phone, reminders, because I had to change my mindset and I had to focus. And I had to start creating space for my new dreams, for the dreams that were going to just bring me excitement. The butterflies in your stomach when you meet someone new and you're dating someone new. Wow, those butterflies. It's the same thing with your dreams when you start creating space for them. And I invested time in growth and not just routine stuff, right? I started reading. I read a bunch of books. I started following a lot of people that had the mindset that I wanted to have. And that really helped me start changing the way I saw things. Reinvention doesn't mean throwing everything away, right? It just means evolving with purpose. You're evolving with purpose, my friends. It's not saying throw the baby out with bathwater. You've heard that phrase or saying. No, you're reinventing yourself because you're going in a new direction. It just means that what you're doing is purposeful. And who doesn't want to have a purpose-driven life? I want to challenge you to take some action steps this coming week and even moving forward. But I always say baby steps are the best because you start to create new patterns and new behaviors. I want to encourage you to take 15 to 30 minutes this week for intentional reflection, okay? Not you're just driving in the car and you start thinking about something. I want you to sit down, take your journal, a piece of paper, your notes app, whatever, and whatever works for you, and focus on some intentional reflection. I suggest you start a where I am versus where I want to be journal entry. That's going to really help you because you're comparing who you are right now to who you want to be and where you want to be. I want to remind you that you don't need a life overhaul. You don't need to change everything all at once. You just need a starting point. And reflecting is a great place to start. Reflecting on your life, who you are, where you want to go, where you want to be, what's going to fulfill you, really doing some internalization and looking inside of yourself and saying, what do I need to change so I can live the life that I want to live and deserve to live? So just to recap, reflection is going to be the bridge between routine and reinvention. All right, when you reflect it and you take it, you internalize it, you write it out, it's that bridge between just being on that hamster wheel or reinventing. All right, I want to invite you to send me a DM or comment your biggest aha from this episode. I would love for you to share that with me. And as always, I want to thank you for listening to this podcast. It's really important. I hope that I am impacting your life, encouraging you, and challenging you to change the things that need to change in order for you to live the life that you want and to live the life that you deserve. So until next time, my friends, live free and stay unscripted. Bye.